Hey YouTube, today I'm going to be addressing the misconception that the Bible never claims that Jesus is God, or the claim that Jesus never says that he's God. So there's tons of Bible verses proving the divinity of Jesus, but for today I'm only going to look at a couple just so I can be clear and not take up too much time. So, when addressing this, I usually like to start with a prophecy back in the book of Isaiah. It's Isaiah 7:14. And this verse says that, "Behold, a virgin shall conceive and bear a son, and you will call his name Emmanuel." Now, in Matthew, this prophecy is fulfilled. Matthew 1:20 tells us that this prophecy is going to be fulfilled, and Matthew 1:23 tells us, basically restates the prophecy. It says, "Behold, a virgin will bear a son, and you will call his name Emmanuel," which, being translated, means God with us. So, a couple verses later in Matthew, we see that the Virgin Mary brought forth a son and called his name Jesus. So we know this is a fulfillment of the prophecy. So what that means is that Jesus is God with us. Now, a couple objections that I've heard to this claim, there's actually two of them. One being that the verse before says, "You will call his name Emmanuel," and Jesus is literally named Jesus, obviously. And the other objection is that just because his title is God with us doesn't mean that he was literally God with us. But I think that if we look back at the prophecy in Isaiah, it can answer both of these objections. By looking at Isaiah 9:6, it really clears things up. It says, we know it's talking about the same prophecy because it says, "Unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given." So it's clearly still referencing that virgin birth thing. And then later it says, "And his name shall be called Wonderful, Counselor, the Mighty God, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace." So what this verse tells us is really twofold. One, that when it says his name shall be called, it doesn't always mean a literal name. Sometimes it means a title. And two, that one of Jesus' titles was the Mighty God. So Jesus was clearly a deity. Here's my girlfriend coming.
Hey, what's the camera?
You want to be on YouTube?
Yes, it's my dream. What are you doing a video on?
Well, I'm talking about how the Bible actually does claim that Jesus is God.
Cool. Have you talked about John 10:30 yet?
No, but that's a pretty good one. That's actually one of the verses where Jesus literally claims himself to be God. Can you look up John 20:28? I have a Bible in the back while I talk about that verse you mentioned. So Jesus says in John 10:30 that, "For I and my Father are one." So Jesus is claiming to be one with God. Now the Pharisees of this day understood it to mean that Jesus was claiming to be God because they accused him of blasphemy and they wanted to stone him. It's actually not the only time that the Pharisees wanted to stone him for blasphemy. One time Jesus said, "Before Abraham was I am." And I am is a term that's used to describe God. So when Jesus claimed to be God, the Pharisees didn't believe him and wanted to stone him. You found that verse yet?
Yes, I did. It says, "And Thomas answered and said unto him, My Lord and my God."
Alright, so that's Thomas literally talking to Jesus, and he calls him to his face, says that Jesus is God. Now, we know that Jesus is sinless. So if Thomas was committing blasphemy, Jesus would have rebuked him. But Jesus didn't rebuke him. So from that, you can logically figure out that Jesus actually is God and Thomas wasn't committing blasphemy. That's all I really had to say about the divinity of Jesus right now. So remember, God loves you, and so do I.
And me too.